Bam. What is good? What is happening, everybody? It's your boy Ferris Muthana, and welcome to another episode of Good Friends, Better Rivals. On this episode, we will be previewing week 2 of the NFL season. New York Giants going into Arizona, and the Dallas Cowboys are staying in New York against the New York Jets. Can Dallas make it a clean sweep of New York? And can the Giants bounce back against Arizona? And with me to break it down always and forever, unfortunately, for the rest of my life, it is Caleb Ochoa. Caleb, how are you?
I am glorious. It has been a glorious week. I mean, just I get to soak it in for all these days since Sunday night. It's been great hearing all the talk shows. Everybody saying great things about the Dallas Cowboys. I love it. Oh man, it's been a hell of a week, man.
Those people you've been calling idiots for the past year are now agreeing with you, so now you're happy about them?
Yes, because I like when they're wrong, and I like them to say good things about the Cowboys. That's the whole thing.
All right. So Caleb, big thing happened on Monday night. The Jets were against the Buffalo Bills, and 4 plays in, something catastrophic happened to the New York Jets. Like always, Aaron Rodgers tears his Achilles. The reason I bring that game up is they're your next opponent. Do you now you were probably gonna win that, maybe win that game. I think probably it was probably like 50-50. But now you're definitely gonna win this game. You're definitely gonna win this game. Do you agree with me? Or are you like just saying like any given Sunday, just hold on, Ferris?
Well, I mean, there's always that chance. I mean, for any game. I mean, it's just kind of a Cowboys thing to go in there with too much confidence there.
Mhm.
Um, Kind of a little bit of arrogance sometimes when we get big wins, especially a blowout win. You kind of come back down to earth because you're feeling yourself too much, and that could be the case here. Because I mean, you saw that last season after we just destroyed the Vikings. Um, we went out and we played like we struggled against a Houston Texans team. That's happened to us when we find ourselves in that situation because we can't handle success, and that's the real test. Like, how do we handle a big win like that on opening night like that? But I think I think it'd be different because it's still early in the season. I still think you're still trying to, because the defense obviously can feel that way, but the offense, we get to see fully what they're capable of, and I still think they're very eager to show what they're capable of, especially against a really good defense in the Jets. And I think that's what we can expect coming out on Sunday afternoon. Um, you know, but obviously it is a different game with Aaron Rodgers out. We have really bad memories of Rodgers doing terrible things
Mhm.
to us. Um,
All the time
just
with the
breaking our
Packers.
hearts. Yes,
That
with the
that
Packers.
probably one of the
Um,
greatest
but
playoff throws of all time to Jared Cook. Oh, that
yeah,
baby was on a
yeah,
line, man. That baby was on a line. Continue.
yeah.
Sorry. Continue.
He does things like that, man. We just go back to last season, where we had him down at halftime. It looked like we were going to win the game, and he just did what he does. He does. He makes the throws that he needs to win
Just
the
run the
game
ball.
for them. And I don't know why. I don't know why he's just like he sees that star and just plays great all of a sudden. I mean, he mostly plays great throughout his career, but I mean, for some reason, when he plays the Cowboys, he really wants to put it on us, and that's what he usually does. But this time, we don't have to worry about that. We're facing Zach Wilson, and that's a much different game with Zach Wilson on the other side than Aaron Rodgers.
I know it would be
But
disrespectful to like professional athletes or like, but that defensive line, oh my God, they're gonna eat that man alive.
yeah,
They're gonna eat that man
we they
alive.
are. I mean, there's no other way to even give them credit because their offensive line is not good.
No, it's
They,
not. It's not.
for the four plays that for the 4 plays that Aaron Rodgers was out there, he had to run around. That's why was getting back there and getting hurt because he was trying to evade the rushers coming at him.
Yeah, they cut blocking
Yeah,
and it didn't
they're bad.
work.
They're bad.
Yeah.
So there's no case to make for the offensive line holding against our defense. Or I mean, Michael Parsons, Marcus Lawrence, Odigizua, Dorrance Armstrong, Fowler. I mean, they're just going to eat. But they have to earn the right to eat on Zach Wilson because if they don't stop Brees Hall, who had a great game against the Bills.
Mhm.
And they don't stop Dalvin Cook, then they're just going to run down our throats. And so they may
Yeah,
not, have
because
to
early
drop back
part
Zach Wilson.
of the Giants game, early part of the Giants game, the Giants were running the ball very effectively. They got into the red zone effectively. And then, the bad snap by John Michael Schmitz, but threw them back 10 yards. But they were effectively just running down their throat for the first part of the game. And then the Giants, they just get like, oh, let's now be cute and pass the ball. It's like, no, run the ball. And it's not even like they also got Michael Carter, got Brees Hall, Dalvin Cook. They have a trio of running backs that they can be like, oh, you're tired? Oh, Dalvin, go in. Oh, you're tired? Oh, Michael Carter, go in. Oh, you're tired? Hey, Brees, go back in. And they can run it down your throats. And a great way to stop pass rushers like Dante Fowler, like Sam Williams, like Micah Parsons, you run the ball. You make them because pass rushers they're going straight. They want to go straight and they want to collapse and they want to go after the quarterback. But if they're going straight and you're running up, only an alien can change direction in a millisecond to go to the running back. It's not going to happen. Like I know Michael Parsons is a freak, but he's not an alien. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
can't be like running up the field and then they'll run. I
Yeah.
gotta change like you can't. So run the ball. Run the
Yeah.
ball. If the Jets win the game, they ran the ball.
That's been our problem. Sometimes we just
Over rush.
get down the field. Yeah, we get down the field too much in the backfield, and then they're going right past our pass rushers. We overcommit, and that's been a problem, and that's why our pass rush has been good, but then we get exploited, right up the middle with the opponent's run game, and that's a worry. That's why we traded for Jonathan Hankins last season
Mm-hmm.
to fix that problem. That's why we drafted Mozzie Smith in the first round to fix that problem. So we put an effort to put guys in that middle to hold up and clog up that middle to prevent that from happening. They just got to go out there and show that they can do that. And adjust making the necessary adjustments to prevent that from happening. Yeah, because why wouldn't I? I mean, Dan Quinn's been great for us, so I don't think that's going to be too much problem. I mean, will they get their runs in? Yeah, but I think we'll do enough to contain it where it won't be a problem, and we can force Zach Wilson into some bad situations where he has to throw the ball on third downs, and we're going to get after him.
Well, that's how you beat this team now. That's how you beat the team. You go man coverage, you stack the box. It's easy. Because you don't trust the quarterback. The quarterback is not going to be trustworthy. You stack the box, you go man coverage. You basically say, hey, Stephon Gilmore, Trayvon Diggs, we're going man. And Stephon Gilmore he loves playing man. That's why he was phenomenal in New England. Like they ran a lot of man, and he was just like, bro, you give me one-on-one, bro. I got you. And Trayvon Diggs as well. You run man. You have some type of safety help with Jerron Kershaw or Malik Hooker, but you're mostly running man and you stack the box, games over because Zach Wilson hasn't shown that he can beat people. He hasn't shown it. It just hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Just,
And
just
that's the
not.
thing. We have the guys in the secondary because our secondary is pretty damn stacked to play that way. We can stack the box because we can trust our guys in the back. We can trust Diggs. We can trust Gilmore. We can trust Deron Bland to hold off their receivers, and then and really stack up that middle. And we have those. Obviously, we have those hybrid guys and Wanye Thomas with Marquise Bell. Really, they can read and react and get after those running backs. And Leighton Vander is going to have to be on his game. this game because, like I said, they're coming right at him, and
Mhm.
he's got to go out there and
He's the key.
make a decision and hit the gap to stop that run. So he's going to be very, very important this game, um, as well as Damone Clark as well. Those two linebackers are going to have to put in some work against that Jets rushing offense.
Well, now, Caleb, we're talking about your defense against their offense, but now the real matchup is really their defense against your offense. So their defense is a people were saying this defense is legit. This defense and your defense are supposed to be legit. And you know what? The Jets, they are legit. They also played very well in week one, just like you guys. But you know they didn't blow somebody out 40-0, but they played great. You guys played otherworldly. Your offense, they can also go man if they want to. They have linebackers that are pretty damn good. CJ Mosley's still a good linebacker. People just forget about him because he's a Jet and no one really like talks about him. He's a good linebacker. That the defensive line rotation, they have a good rotation. I don't think as deep as you. Like you guys go 8-9. It's 10. It's insanity. And I think they have about 7-8, I think, of a good rotation. And now like your offense didn't have to do anything really in week one. You guys didn't have to do much. You guys had short
No.
fields. You had 2 touchdowns that were not offensive touchdowns. And you're seeing these offenses now in the first weeks. There's a lot of rust. There's a lot of rust on some of these offenses. Your offense didn't do much in
Yeah.
week one. Are you scared that there's going to be a little bit rust and the Jets defense is coming out blazing?
You know, I was maybe a little worried about that, but not too much. We couldn't really see what their like I said, we couldn't really see what their plan is because of the heavy rain that was falling in the last
Mm-hmm.
game. So we couldn't run exactly maybe everything we wanted to do. Um, but I'm really excited to see what McCarthy's system really is. And like you said, the defensive line is coming at us. And that's where I want to get into some of the a couple of these injuries. Is obviously we had the injury to Tyler Smith against the Giants. He was out for that game, and we had Chuma Doga step in, and he stepped in well. I didn't think that would happen. I was really worried about what the Giants defensive line can do against our offensive line, especially with that left guard having the backup in there. But we did well. Dak was clean, um, as well as we run. Tony Pollard was able to run the ball pretty effectively. Um, so I thought he did a pretty good job and the offensive line as a whole did a pretty good job even with that injury. Tyler Smith, he's probably going to be out again this week. But if Chumadoga can, build off what he did against the Giants, then I'm not as worried as I was going into the Giants game. And with McCarthy system, it's a West Coast system, which means Dak is going to get the ball out of his hand pretty quick. I mean, there's a lot of quick passes, and we saw that a little bit against the Giants. I mean, a lot of his passes were very quick and ball out of his hands, and so I think that can counter the Jets, defense getting in there and beating our offensive line. But when like I said, Tyron's healthy, and when Zach's healthy, Terrence Steele is a really good run blocker. Those guys can really push a defensive line back, and so I think Pollard is going to be fine. I think the Bills obviously don't have a rush game. That's why they couldn't run. I mean, they've never had a run game with Josh Allen in there. Our run game is much more better. So I think we will be able to run at least effectively as we did against the Giants. So I don't really see a problem there. Obviously, we got the matchups with the receivers versus their DBs, which is where another injury comes in. Brandon Cooks questionable for the game, may or may not be in there. He has an MCL sprain. We'll see if he can go by game time. But if he's not in there, that means Gallup has to step in. He has to be that guy on the outside, and I think he's fully healthy. he got a ball last game, so hopefully he got some confidence in him to go out there and be the old Michael Gallup because we're really going to have to depend on him. Um, obviously we see Sauce Gardner out there, and everybody looking forward to a Sauce Gardner versus CeeDee Lamb. It's not really going to be a matchup between them because Sauce Gardner doesn't travel. He kind of stays to his side of the defense and kind of takes and shuts down his side. CeeDee Lamb mostly doesn't even go on the outside. He mostly lines up in the slot,
The slot. Yeah,
majority of the time.
That's why Dory was like, "I'll play slot. It's fine with me," because he knew CeeDee Lamb was gonna be in the slot. That's why. So that was a good decision on him. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think obviously CeeDee is going to get his catches, but the other guys on the outside, they got to get open. Obviously, Jalen Tolbert had a really good training camp, really good preseason. He looks like he's chomping out the bit to get out there and really prove that last year is behind him and that he's ready to go. So if he gets an opportunity with Brandon Cooks being out, then I think he's going to do good. I really do.
Well, just have tight end Jake Ferguson run into a corner that's guarding them.
And yeah, that's the other thing, man. The Titans, obviously, like we said on Sunday night, did not have a good game. They dropped a couple balls, as a couple in the end zone, where Dak's numbers could have looked a lot better if they had caught those for touchdowns. But they got to play better. I'll give them a mulligan because of the brain and just chalk it up to that. But they got to play better. They got to catch the freaking ball in this game because we're going to need them if the other guys are tied up. And if Brandon Cooks ain't out, then Dak likes to rely on his tight ends, and when he throws them, they got to get it. But yeah, that's how I see it.
Dalton Schultz, ain't you? You missing Dalton Schultz?
No, I'm not. I think that I mean Dalton Schultz had one catch with the Texans last week, so it wasn't Dalton Schultz that was great. I mean, Dak really just throws to his tight ends a lot. Like that's it. Like he makes his tight ends.
I bet you Dalton Schultz catches those balls.
No, he didn't do too well in the 49ers game.
Well, he did. He caught that one ball that he forgot to run up the field.
Yeah, but he also ran out of bounds before the first down like an idiot.
It is, it's fine. It's fine.
No, it's not fine. Lost the goddamn game. It's horrible.
Well, it also, it's also not cool when you're making your running back your center. All right. So don't get mad at Dalton Schultz. Okay. All right. Your Dalton Schultz, his job is to catch the ball.
We got rid of that guy who made that play. We got rid of him too. We got rid of that guy too.
You got rid of all three of them, I guess.
Yeah, we got rid of Kellen Moore, and we got rid of them both. So all that trash is gone.
I'm sorry, bro. I still can't get him. Like, you're a football coach, and you say to yourself, you know what, guys? I'm gonna make my running back my center. Like, what goes through your mind that you think that's a good idea? I don't understand where you're like, you know what, guys?
I don't know. I don't even understand. I don't understand.
Dude, like, why do you think certain people think the NFL's rigged when shit like that happens? You're like, what are you doing? Like, what are you like? Just Hail Mary that shit. 4 verts. NCAA. Throw it deep. Yeah. What are we doing here? Nah, I'm gonna make my running back my center. Like, what? I don't get it.
And then throw it to the smallest guy on the team.
Yeah. And then he gets tackled right away. And you're like, whatever. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here, guys? Like, bro, like, what are we doing?
Don't throw it to the guy who can make runs after catch. Who's really good at that. It's kind of a specialty, but throw it to the small guy. Okay.
Yeah, throw it to your punt returner. Because you know what? Why not? throw it to our punt returner. That's Dak's fault, by the way. Dak could have thrown it.
I think that was just the play. I think that was.
Yeah, no, dude. The entire play was. The entire play was shit, man. It was all shit.
Yeah.
The play was shit from the beginning.
But yeah,
he made the running back the center.
Okay, we're past that.
Okay.
On to the Jets. Just my overall thoughts on what was going to happen. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Obviously, two two really good defenses going at it. I think we're gonna be able to shut down their offense. I think our defense does. I mean, we've led the league in turnovers for the last 2 seasons. We're gonna get turnovers in this game. We're going to take the ball away, and that is key for us in this game to give as many opportunities to our offense to score on their tough defense. And I think that's going to give us the advantage in this game. And I have us winning 23-12.
All right, that's a good score line. I like that. I think with if you guys get turnovers, you get short fields. I think that's going to be the key, because this Jets defense, I don't think it's gonna provide. This Jets offense isn't gonna do right by the Jets defense, because you're playing a better offense this week instead of, like, the Bills offense is the Bills offense, but you're playing a better offense this week, in people's mind. But if you can make the Cowboys offense just like what you did to the Bills offense, you can win the game if possible. And you want to keep it low scoring. If the Jets win, it's like 16-12 or 16 to something like that. But if the Jets lose, it's because the Cowboys got. I'm gonna go Cowboys 24-14. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go. 24-14. No. 24-10. 24-10. There it is. 24-10. Go with that, because I don't think they scored two touchdowns. I don't think they scored two touchdowns. And I think that your defense is gonna just ruin Zach Wilson's life. And the defense of the Jets, it's great. We all know it's great, but it's gonna be on the field too much. So it's gonna stop you guys on occasion, but towards the end, they're gonna be gassed, and you guys will get 24 points because they're on the field too much. And that's what's gonna happen. Cowboys, 24-10. Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Now let's move on to the other team in blue, singing the blues, the New York Giants. We're against the Arizona Cardinals this week, and literally, Caleb, there's the only way is up. Like, the only way is up, because you coming off of a legitimate. When I say this, I'm not like,
if you guys get embarrassed. I mean, you go down by getting embarrassed by the Cardinals. That's a way to go down.
That's true, but it's a historic loss. Like, I'm not speaking in hyperbole. It's a historic loss. Like, we made history last Sunday. History I didn't want to make, but we made it. And yeah, you're right. If we lose to the Cardinals, it's pretty bad. But it's any given Sunday. And I've seen teams like, because the Cardinals team, right? They're hearing the noise, right? The players are like, you're going to be a top 5 pick. You're going to get the number 1 pick. You guys suck. Your coach sucks. Your coach is an idiot. You guys stink. You guys need Kyler Murray. You're not very good. Like, who the hell is Clayton Tooney? Like, could they come out with some fervor and some violence and beat us? It's possible, because it's the NFL. Anything happens. It's the NFL. Literally the NFL. Anything can happen. And that's what happens. Anything can happen. And moving on, what else? The Giants are dealing with injuries to key people. Andrew Thomas has a hamstring injury. He's not going to be fully 100%. Darren Waller is going to be nursing it. He's also nursing his own hamstring injury. Also, to Caleb, Sunday, they're playing on Thursday in San Francisco. There's been a theory that you don't play Andrew Thomas against the Cardinals. You don't. You let him rest for Thursday night. You don't play him.
I mean, who's gonna
and
block?
You play, huh? Yeah, here's the thing. Who's playing left tackle?
The line. You just gonna,
that's the thing, bro.
To block.
That's the thing. So Dan Duggan and Charlotte Carroll, who work for The Athletic, both cover the Giants, because we're the Giants. We need 2 people because we're that massive. They both have articles this week talking about how shit the offensive line is. And how who they have. And I'm looking at this depth chart, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, right tackle, it's Evan Neal, Matthew Pert, Marcus McCathan.
That sounds terrible.
And then on left, and Matthew Pert's injured too. He hurt his elbow. He came in the game to give Andrew Thomas a break. He gets hurt. in the Cowboys game. So he's not playing. So your backup swing tackle is not playing. He can play right and left. Not very good, but he can play it. So you bring in Josh Azudu to play left tackle to finish the game. But at that point, no one cared. No one was watching Azudu. No one cared if he did anything good because the game was already 40-0 and everyone's gone. People have turned off the game. People are gone from the stadium. No one gives a shit. Like, no one cares at all. Like, no one cares. Then you have Marcus McCathan. The problem with Marcus McCathan is he's coming back from an ACL injury last year. Is he fully healthy? Can he provide you anything? Can he? He played a little bit in the preseason as a guard, not as a tackle. Him and Joshua Azudu were the left guard and left tackle at UNC when they were together. We drafted both of them. They were teammates. So McCathan was left tackle, Azudu was left guard. So it's time to make a change. Last year, a change was made after week 1. Kenny Galladay played 77% of the snaps, and then the next week he played 2% of the snaps. Brian Daboll is willing to make a change. I think you move Ben Bredesen, who apparently is our best guard, which doesn't say much, to right guard, and you bring in Josh Azudu to left guard, and you bring in Marcus McCathan at left tackle. Because at this point, if you're not going to play Andrew Thomas, I think you go that. But if you play Andrew Thomas, you still swap the guards, but you keep Andrew Thomas. But if you're not going to play Andrew Thomas, hold him over for Thursday, play Marcus McCathan. Why not? You know, because you ain't got options. You have no options. 0 options. Someone already signed Jason Peters, so he's gone. You want La'el Collins, but the reason La'el Collins was cut by the Bengals is because his knee is shot. So he needs to be healthy. He's not healthy. He needs to be healthy. Also, too, he's a better guard than tackle, which we need.
Yeah, he is.
But he's injured. He's injured. I'm not gonna be signed injured. You know, he's injured. So don't sign him personally until he's fully healthy. So what's the point of signing him if he's not gonna play? Like that's the point. So look, you have literally no options. You play Azudu, you play McCathan. Or you play, here are your options. You play Andrew Thomas, not 100% on that hammy, and just pray to God he doesn't get injured in Thursday night, because someone always gets injured on Thursday night, literally all the time. Or you sit him, let him play Thursday night, and you play McCathan and Azudu. Because Mark Glowinski got to go. Mark Glowinski got to go. He got to go.
Horrible.
He got to go, bro. The reason he played well in Indianapolis is because the other guard is Quentin Nelson, and the center is Ryan Kelly. So of course he was just a cog in the machine, but he wasn't the reason they were good. Then he had Braden Smith on the right tackle, so Braden Smith was helping him. So when you take Mark Glowinski outside the solid offensive line of the Colts, this is what we get. He played fine last year. Was he great? No, he's regressed. He's on the other side of 30. That's what happens. People who were good last year can be bad this year. It's called regression. It happens all the time. He's regressed. He has regressed. And he's not very good. Also, too, I'm looking at the play call. Mike Kafka and Brian Daboll, I'm looking at you. Run the damn ball. Run the damn ball. Run the ball. Evan Neal and Mark Glowinski wasn't looking horrible when you were running the ball because they were going forward, grabbing, and pushing. But then you started to get all cute against one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. Oh, let me start going in shotgun and seeing if they're not going to survive. When the Dallas Cowboys can send 10 people after you. It's not happening. Run the damn ball. And I think so Chad Ochocinco said this once in an I Am Athlete podcast. It's sticked in my mind. He needed a specific amount of catches to reach a bonus in his contract. Mike Brown told the coaching staff, don't pass him the ball because I'm not going to pay his bonus.
Wow.
I will not pay. And guess what happened? He had one of his worst years in Cincinnati. Because Mike Brown told the coaching staff, Don't do it because I ain't paying his incentives. I don't want to pay his incentives. Guess who has an incentive laden? Guess who has an incentive laden contract? Our star running back.
Oh, well, there you go.
Like you're seeing success with running the ball against the Cowboys, and then you stop running the ball after one drive. I'm sorry, but the Cowboys didn't stop the run like that. Like they didn't just stop. They didn't just like stop the run because they didn't. Because when you rent,
if they lose this game, do you think about trading him?
What's the point if you're not going to use him? If you're not going to use him, trade him. You
so
clearly
you think they should do that?
They're not going to. They're not going to do that. But my motto is this: if you're not going to use him, trade him. You're not going to use him, trade him. You're not going to pay him, trade him. You're not going to use him, use him. You didn't trade him. You didn't give him the contract. Okay, that's fine. But you're not going to use him? So what's the point of him being on this roster if you're not going to use him? Use 26. He's the best player on the field. He's the best player in the locker room. He's the best player on the team. 26. Run the ball. And when he was running the ball later on, when you guys were up like 20, we were still gashing you. Just like the Cowboys, still weren't like Jonathan Hankins had like one good run stop. It was good. They replayed it, but that was it. We were gashing you, but then we're not going to run the ball no more. Run the damn ball. It tires out the defensive lines. It helps out your offensive line because you're not throwing them back in pass pro all the damn time. Run the ball. Last year, why we were successful is that we ran the ball. Run the ball. Because I remember once in the play against the Cowboys where we went heavy with the play action. It was heavy on the play action. Leighton Vander Esch crashed in and someone was wide open. And we completed a pass. Darren Waller was wide open. But then there's another time where it happens all the time, man. He crashed heavy. Moan Clark crashed heavy, and it was free behind them. Run the ball. The Cowboys stopped respecting the run because they weren't running the ball. It's like, why am I biting on this run fake if I know you ain't gonna run it? Because y'all want to be cute. Guess what happened Thursday night? Guess what happened yesterday on Thursday night? Guess what happened? A.J. Brown's mad that he only got 4 targets. You know why? Because the Eagles ran for almost 300 yards. Because you know why? Because the Vikings couldn't stop the run.
No, they were awful. They couldn't tackle at all.
At all. DeAndre Swift had like 2 carries in week 1. And then week 2, they're like, you're going to get the ball on almost every play. And he had over 100 yards. Because you couldn't stop the run. You just couldn't stop it. So when we're against Minnesota, are we going to run the ball? Because the Eagles have just told you, this is how you beat the Vikings. They can't stop the run to save their life. Run the ball. So run the ball. Run the goddamn ball. And get, I'm sorry, bro. Like, next year in free agency and in the draft, I just want 1 million offensive linemen. Just give me 1 million. I don't care. Just give me 1 million of them. And we'll find out which one's good. Just give me a bunch. Because Evan Neal ain't cutting it. Andrew Thomas is the only bright spot. John Michael Schmitz is a rookie, so we'll see by the end of the season. Evan Neal, I've heard him say, I don't want to feel like this ever again. I feel embarrassed. I've heard that man say it like 1 million times. I'm like, bro, if you don't want to be embarrassed, you don't want to feel like this, how about you improve more? But then the key is the coaches Bobby Johnson. And people don't like Bobby Johnson. People think Bobby Johnson's not a great coach. And you know what? I believe it. Because Bobby Johnson told Wyatt Teller, I don't want you. And now Wyatt Teller's the best guard in the NFL in Cleveland. He's one of the best. What's going on? Like, what's the disconnect between the offensive lineman and the offensive line coach? Like you can't be this bad. Like they're bad. Like really bad. And Evan Neal was the most promising tackle prospect they had. It was him, Charles Cross, and Ekme Ikwandu. Icky. Icky was the run blocker. Charles Cross was the pass blocker, and Evan Neal was supposed to be the best of both worlds. That's what I was told. That's what I was told. 6'6", 304 pounds of lean, mean fighting machine. And right now, bro, I'm like, where's the fight in you, dog? There is no fight. You got to fight, bro. Commit a penalty. Hit somebody in the head. Grab, hold. Do something. Do something. Run the damn ball. Run the damn ball. It is also helping us that a couple of their starters are injured and banged up. I believe L.J. Collier, their defensive lineman, has a bicep injury, as well as their linebacker Josh Woods. He had an ankle, so he didn't practice today. Then James Conner, Kelvin Beachum, and Leki Fotu, they all practiced today, but they're on the injury list. They're on their injury list. So there's that. They also put Buda Baker on as well. Azeez Ojulari is probably not going to play. He's doubtful. But here's the key. So I saw a comment from Boomer Esiason and Gio, right? I'm gonna start reacting to some of these comments, man, because I realized, why not? Let's start reacting to them. They talked about how Kayvon Thibodeau may not be the guy we thought he was. No, I know he is the guy I thought he was, but I know why he's not playing as good as he should be. The scheme destroys edge rushers. Wink Martindale's scheme does not help traditional defensive ends. He's a defensive end, Caleb. That's what he is. He's not this hybrid edge that plays linebacker as well. Like, that's not him. He never did that. He barely did that at Oregon. He's a traditional pass rusher. You put his hands in the dirt and you let him rush the passer. That's what you do. It's what Aiden Hutchinson does in Detroit. He rushes the ball.
Yeah.
Wink Martindale doesn't care about Kayvon's development. Kayvon Thibodeau can do that linebacker stuff because he's really athletic and he has great instincts and he knows how to cover, but he's a traditional pass rusher. I've always thought this to myself. I think this is my opinion. He should just rush the passer. Just rush the passer. Don't do anything else. Rush the passer. Be a defensive end. Wayne Martindale's scheme doesn't value him because it values the linebackers that are filling the gaps and blitzing and the weird defensive back going on the blitz. And it negates him because he's there just to create chaos. He's not there to get stats. He's there to create chaos so the other guys are free to blitz. But our best blitzer pass rusher is him. Well, at this moment, it's him. So it could be him. I'm going to say it could be him if you let him do that thing. But they won't do it. It's like what Rex Ryan. I talked to him. There's a homie named Schwinny Poo on Twitter. We were talking about, he's a Bills fan. The Bills defense one year was great. Yeah, that's his name. That's his name. Shout out to Schwinn. Shout out to Schwinn. The Bills. He does a lot of Knicks content, so it's fine. He's one of the Knicks people. The Bills off defense was pretty good, right? It was good, and then they brought in Rex Ryan. And let me see what he said. I don't want to misquote him. I'm gonna tell him what he said. He had, let me see. So right here, they had a problem in Buffalo. They had Mario Williams and Marcel Darius on the defensive line, Caleb. Like, that's a good that was a good pairing. He switched the defense from 4-3 to 3-4 and made Mario Williams an outside linebacker edge. No, he's a defensive end. He's a defensive end. Everyone knew what Mario Williams was, a defensive end. And then he made Marcel Darius start dropping back in coverage. That man's a defensive tackle. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? It's like if Dan Quinn's like, hey guys, I'm gonna make John Hankins play hook the curl. Imagine seeing Jonathan Hankins playing hook the curl, Caleb. Think about it. Jonathan Hankins playing hook the curl. It wouldn't look pretty. It would be weird. It'd be like, why is he next to Leighton Vander Esch? What is this? And that's the thing. I don't agree, because here's the thing, Caleb. Matthew Judon was in Baltimore. Everyone was like, oh, his stats aren't very good. 4.5 sacks, 5 sacks. I don't think they're good. He goes to New England where they say you're a defensive end. You know what his first 2 years in New England is, Caleb? 12.5 sacks, 15.5 sacks, back-to-back seasons. Because they played 4-3, or he rushed the passer. He's rushing the passer. I'm like, because Bill Belichick did this smart thing, Caleb, where he's like, why would I have my best pass rusher playing the flat? No, I'm gonna tell him to go get. I'm telling him to go get a sack. Go rush the quarterback. And that's what when you do with Kayvon Thibodeau, let him rush the quarterback. And I'm sick and tired of having to defend him because people don't know football. When people are like, oh, Aiden Hutchinson I knew he was better than him. Oh, I knew Trevor Walker. No, they're not. They're not better than him. No, you look at stats and you're like, look at this stat, like Aiden Hutchinson with that. No, if we're saying like he had the same rush percentage when they allowed him to rush the ball as like in the top 5, he had like, it's because he's having to not rush the passer traditionally. Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end, he lines up on the outside tackle, and he rushes the ball. Kayvon Thibodeau has to crash in so someone loops behind him. He has to loop so someone crashes. Like they're not allowing Kayvon to just rush the passer. So this thing where it's like, oh, I don't think he's him. Well, Gio and Boomer, I don't agree, because you should know football, Boomer. You're a quarterback. You should know this, right? You should know schemes, correct? I don't really care what Gio knows because Gio's a fan. Like sometimes fans don't know what the hell they're watching. It's fine. It happens all the time. Sometimes I'm confused. And I played football and I've schemed football. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know what the hell that is because it's the NFL. And I'm like, I'm confused. That's why I have to ask other people and coaches, like Coach Evans. I'm like, what the hell was that, coach? And he's like, let me tell you what it was, Ferris. I was like, thank you very much. But Boomer Esiason, not knowing what the hell is going on in the NFL and the way defensive ends are playing the ball, he played quarterback. In a time where defensive ends were told, hunt down Boomer Esiason. That's your job. Your one job is to hunt him down. But nowadays, defensive ends are not told to do that anymore. They're told to like, hey, I know you want to hunt him down, but I also want you to play coverage on this running back. I want you to drop back and play this tight end. Because these schemes, they want to get all convoluted and complicated and trying to trick quarterbacks. But sometimes the best way to beat a quarterback is having your best pass rusher put his hand in the dirt and go after him. That's what the Dallas Cowboys did to Michael Parsons. His rookie season, off-ball linebacker, defensive end, probably a little bit linebacker. And then they find like, you know what? Go play damn defensive end.
That was only because of injury.
Exactly. But then they figured out something. Yeah, but then they figured out something, right? They're like, you're a better defensive end. You're a better defensive end. All right, go hunt him down. And that's what Michael Parsons does. He hunts down quarterbacks every single week. This is the problem that's happening in LSU, a little college thing. They have this kid named Harold Perkins. He's a phenomenal pass rusher. But against Florida State, Brian Kelly made him play off-ball linebacker. And people were like, what are you doing? He's a pass rusher. Play him at pass rusher. Let him pass the rush. Let him rush the pass. Sorry. And that's the problem with Kayvon Thibodeau. You're telling him to do these a million things, and he's doing these a million things, and he's doing them to the best of his capability. When his best ability is putting his hand in the dirt or going in two-point stance or whatever and rushing the passer. You drafted a defensive end, and you're not letting him play defensive end. Caleb? Looks like, hey, wide receiver. I drafted a wide receiver. I'm going to make him play tight end. What? Huh? Let him play defensive end. He's a defensive end. He's not this hybrid edge guy. Nowadays people are like, oh, I like the word edge better than defensive end. No, fine, whatever. That's a draft designation. He's a defensive end. Let him rush the passer. Stop him dropping back in coverage. If I see him one more time, bail out. I swear to God, I'm going to throw my remote at the TV. And you know what? I need a new TV. My TV sucks. So give me an excuse to get a new one. Because I'm a cheapskate. All right. That's how we win the game.
All right. Is there anything on the Cardinals? Because we all know the Cardinals are bad. They don't really have a lot of talent on the team. Is there
Mhm.
any player group that concerns you at all?
Let me check the roster. Let me just double check the roster.
I mean, obviously their
Uh,
quarterback Josh Jobs not very good. He mostly threw short passes all game long against Washington, which was a pretty good game plan considering they only lost by 4 points. I think they're going to
mhm,
stick to that game plan
Probably
as long as
James
he's back
Conner.
there.
James Conner. That's the only person I'm really scared of. James Conner, Mark. Because here's the thing: Josh Dobbs is not going to unleash Marquise Brown. Because Marquise Brown is not going to. Josh Dobbs is not throwing the ball deep to Marquise Brown. It's not happening. Also, too, against the Cowboys, relatively speaking, our cornerbacks played very well for the small
And we
amount
didn't
that they
really
played.
pass that much.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and we got a couple big plays with CeeDee Lamb, but after Jake Ferguson tackled Dory Jackson, that
Oh
doesn't
my
really
God.
count.
No,
Literally,
the
don't say
guy
oh my
just didn't see
god,
him
come on.
coming.
Don't say oh my god, come on.
Yeah,
Don't say
because
oh my god, you saw it.
what? The defender didn't see him. He was running his route, and the defender didn't see him coming.
Any other team, that's an illegal pick. Get out of here. Any other team, it's
That's
an
not a
illegal pick.
pick. That's
It's
not
an
a
illegal
pick when
pick.
he
Any
just
other
runs the
team.
route. He's literally just
Any
running
other
the route.
team? Yeah, sure, running around my
He is
ass.
just running a route, and the guy didn't
Running
see him
around my
coming.
ass.
That's it. That's all that happened.
Their other starting wide receiver is the rookie out of Stanford, Michael Wilson. Shout out to you, Michael Wilson. I know. Shout out to you, man. I just say shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you.
I
They're
think
gonna
the
run the
best thing
ball.
that the Cardinals did was they stopped the Washington's run game. Washington ran the ball a lot, and they didn't run it for very many yards. So
Mhm.
they were able.
Yeah,
Maybe they
Jonathan
can contain
Jonathan
this.
Jonathan Ledbetter and LJ Collier, but the problem is LJ Collier may be injured. Josh Woods is their other starting inside linebacker, which is him and Kazir White. Kazir White, I believe he played in San Diego, but he was in the Philly last year. So he followed Jonathan Gannon to Arizona. But Josh Woods is also on the injury list. So we'll see if him and LJ Collier play. Because if they play, you have a point. But if they don't play, they're relying on Dante Sills and rookie Owen Papo from Auburn. So we'll see about that. But they also got Zaven Collins and Dennis Garbdeck. They have the rookie BJ Ojolari, full relation to Aziz Ojolari. So they're brothers. And Buda Baker is injured. He's on the injury list. So we'll see if he plays. I think he's gonna play. So there's that. Um, you're right. And Washington's offensive line is better than ours. Like they're a better
Yeah.
offensive line running the ball. Like, so you know what? Force feed him. I don't care. If we get 2 yards every damn play, give him the ball. Give him the ball all the time. I don't care. Run it 50 goddamn times. I better see that score sheet where it's like, oh, New York Giants rushed the ball 48 times for 300. Like, run the ball. Run the ball. Just run the ball. Because there's going to be one play where when you're doing play action, Jalen Hyde's going to be wide open because they're going to crash. They're going to crash heavy. And you know what? In that moment, Daniel Jones, you throw it deep. You throw it deep to him, to Paris Campbell. Probably not Darius Slayton. Please don't. Because he probably just dropped the ball. And it's not slander when I've seen it happen. And he has so I'm not going to say it's not. So, because it's not. So there's that. So run the ball. Run the goddamn ball. All right. I'm going to get a soundbite that says, score Giants 24, 14. 24-14.
Isn't that what you just picked for the Cowboys game?
No, I did 24-10.
Oh yeah, you started with 24-14. Then
I did, but then I realized you had a better defense than us.
Like that score.
Okay, fine. I kind of do. I'm not gonna lie, 24-14. I kind of do. I gotta do. I'm not gonna lie to you. I gotta do. Caleb, where can people find you, my man?
You can find me at NFLK22 on Instagram and Twitter/X. You can find me on this channel on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock doing better than NFL. Had a winning week last week, gonna have another winning week this week. So if you like making money, please tune in for that show.
All right, guys. My name is Ferris Milano. You find me at Ferris Milano on X, as well as the_Ferris_Muthana on Instagram. Start using it a little bit more because my radio show is coming back next week, Wednesday, 9 o'clock. I got something to say on KSFS Radio, so make sure to follow me for that, as well as I'm here every Friday, 3 o'clock Pacific, Good Friends, Better Rivals, as well as every Friday, 8 Pacific, The Open Table, me and Adelia every Friday, but except today, we won't be having a show today. Something happened. But yeah, there's that. Me and Rob are doing our, good winning time reviews on our entertainment channel. So make sure to watch, make sure to turn on your notifications for that one to when it pops up, because it pops up during the week. But without that, thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day, and see you guys next time. Peace.